I'm going to prove to you just how easy we've made this process on you guys, because it shouldn't be hard to do. Getting your affairs in order should not be hard to do, and I'll prove it to you. Now, this is how we work. We're different than most lawyers and law firms. All that we ask is you fill out this workbook to the best of your ability. You're not going to be graded. It's not a test. Just do your best. There are sections of the workbook where people get hung up on. For example, trustees. You have a few people in mind you want to consider for the job as successor trustee, but before you commit, you want to talk about it first. Or maybe you're struggling over how to divide up your estate. Those are all valid areas to get hung up on. But here's the deal. When you come into the office with this workbook filled out to the best of your ability, you're either going to sit down with Paul or myself, the attorneys in the firm, and we're going to spend an hour or more, if necessary, going over this workbook with you. And you're going to have questions, and we're going to have questions. The goal of this meeting is to come up with a fully customized estate plan that will work for you and your family. And all that we ask is you do your best. We are attorneys and counselors at law. Together, we have north of 50 years experience. We've been there, done that so many times over to make your head spin. Problems that you may have that you think there's no solution to, we have solutions. All that we ask is you do your best. This is the opposite of a do-it-yourself exercise. It is the opposite of a do-it-yourself exercise. We're going to raise questions during that meeting that you have not even thought about. Our goal is to come up with a customized plan that will work for you and your family. We'll point out what it means for the people you leave behind, how it's going to play for them. And so you see how it all works together. So that meeting in the office, the first meeting in the office where we go through the workbook, is by far the most important part of the whole process, because that's where we come up with a plan. And all you got to do is fill it out to the best of your ability. Now, once we have that meeting and we conclude it and we have a plan in place, you will get to go on your way. The attorney you meet with will actually draft your documents. Paul and I do our own drafting. That's not how most lawyers operate who do what we do for a living. They have drafting paralegals or legal secretaries that do all the drafting. We don't do it that way. We're very efficient. We're very good at what we do. We know what we want. So it's much more efficient for us to do our own drafting. And the way we work is we send every single document that we expect you to sign to you in draft form for you to read. And that could be a pretty daunting task for people, reading a stack of legal documents. If you guys could understand those documents like us, you wouldn't be sitting here today. You would have done this yourself a long time ago. There is a fair amount of legalese that has to be in these documents for them to work their magic. And if you're curious of what it means and why it's there, we'll be happy to explain it to you. Because you're not signing anything until you're comfortable, until you understand the documents, until they're perfect. And there is no limit on how many times you can interact with Paul or myself to get to that point. Whether it's by phone, in person, or by email, whatever way you like to communicate, you're not signing anything until you're ready. And all that we ask is you do your best when you read through them. Because if you think about everything we've talked about this morning, two things. Who's in charge of what and when, and who gets what and when. That's what all these documents deal with. And that's the mindset you need to have as you read through these drafts. Because you're not going to sign anything until you're ready. And we're going to guide you through the process. Some people are motivated, they want to go quick. Others need time. We're going to go at your pace. We're going to try to keep it on the front burner for you so you can keep the eyes on the prize, which is getting this done. Okay? Now, when you are ready to sign, you're going to come back into the office and have your documents signed and notarized. A lot of lawyers, they have notaries on staff, law firms, they charge $10 a signature per notarization. That's what notaries can charge. We don't do that. That's nickel and dime stuff. We're philosophically opposed to that kind of stuff. We don't charge for notarizations. You're going to get your originals in a binder just like this and a full set of copies. At this point, you can congratulate yourself, check this off your bucket list, you're done. It's a wonderful feeling. But that is not the end of the relationship as far as we're concerned. That's not how we operate. We value our long-term relationships with our clients. We structured our entire practice to have long-term relationships with our clients. For example, we invite you to future workshops for refresher courses. Right, guys?
Yes, you do.
That's right, we do.
Yes.
Okay. So you can come for a refresher course. A few years ago, we developed a part of our website where it's a client-only portal we give you a password to, where we upload commonly used documents and things that may be of interest to you. If a law changes, and occasionally does, you're going to hear about it from us. You don't need to watch C-SPAN. So we stay in touch with you. The flip side of that is you can stay in touch with us, and we don't penalize you for doing that. That's the whole idea behind the No Charge to Talk policy, is to encourage and facilitate communication with our clients. You'd be surprised how many times a client will contact us, whether it's by phone or email, with a question that has nothing to do with estate planning. We only do estate planning, but for most of our clients, their first experience with an attorney is this process. If you got through life up to this point without having to interact with an attorney, that's an accomplishment as far as we're concerned. It's a good thing, right? So we're usually the first point of contact for people that have legal problems because they don't know where to go. And so we don't only do this, but we get calls and emails from clients about, oh, I have a family member that needs a divorce attorney, or I have a dispute with my neighbor over a property line. Where do I go? We will direct you to the right type of attorney to handle that particular problem. So you're foolish not to stay in touch with us because we're not going to penalize you. We want to hear from you. And by the way, that policy of never charging to talk leads to happy clients. And a lot of our happy clients make referrals. We get a lot of our business from our existing clients. If you have any doubt, take a look at these client testimonials.